All right, let's talk about Silencio. We're going to cut through all the noise, all the hype, and give you the real, complete picture of how this app actually works.
So let's just dive right in, shall we? The one question everybody is asking is Silencio for real? Can you actually make money, or is it all just hype? Look, it's a totally fair question, and honestly, it's the key to understanding this whole thing. So let's dig in and find out.
And boom, right here, this is where it all gets a little confusing for people. On one hand, you see this awesome promise. Earn up to $10 an hour. Sounds great, right? But the reality, it's more of a journey. You've got to sign up, then you have to contribute really high-quality data, then you have to get verified, and only after all that, you might get a payout in something called USDC. So yeah, there's a gap between the promise and the reality, and that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the Silencio confusion. And hey, if you've been feeling a little puzzled by this whole thing, trust me, you're not alone. There are some really good reasons for it.
You know, a huge part of the confusion, it actually comes from the app itself. Think about it. You open it up and you see dollar values, right? Like actual USD. You see campaigns talking about that $10 an hour. It's all designed to be super simple and get you excited, which is smart marketing. But that simplicity kind of papers over the much more complicated process of how you actually get paid, which, happens way, way down the line. So to clear all that up, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What is Silencio, really?
Okay, so at its heart, Silencio is basically a massive data network. What it does is collect two things: background noise from your environment and actual human voice data. And then it sells that data to companies, researchers, even city planners. So you got to understand, when you're using the app, you're not just earning money in the traditional sense. You're actually a contributor, a piece of a much bigger data economy.
The business model itself is actually pretty simple. You can break it down into 3 steps. Step 1, you provide the data. Step 2, companies come along and buy that data. And step 3, you get rewarded for being part of that process. See? It's not magic money falling from the sky. It's a straightforward data economy.
All right, so how do you actually contribute and earn? Well, there are 2 main ways to do it, a passive way and an active way. And knowing the difference between these 2 is absolutely crucial. So let's look at the passive route first. This is the easy one. Your phone just sits there, measures the noise in the background, and you slowly, and I mean slowly, earn these in-app points. It's a total long game, okay? Definitely not instant cash. Now, on the other hand, you've got the active side. This is where you're actually recording your voice for specific AI campaigns. The potential rewards here, way, way higher. But, and this is a big but, this is the one that requires you to jump through all the hoops, all the verification to get a real payout. Okay, now we get to the absolute heart of all the confusion, the money. We really need to get crystal clear on what the app means when it says USD, SLC, and USDC, because I'm telling you, they are 3 totally different things. First, let's talk about USD. When you see that $sign in the app, you need to think of it as a marketing number. It's just an estimate, a way to show you the potential value of something you're doing. The most important thing to get here is that it is not cash. It's not an instant payout. It's just a signpost, like a little sticker that says, this could be worth about this much. Next up, we have SLC. This is Silencio's own crypto token. It's basically the internal currency of the network used to track your rewards. And again, let me be super clear, it is not cash. Maybe one day it'll unlock some cool benefits, but for right now, just think of it as points in a video game. It's an internal scoring system. And finally, USDC. Okay, this is the one you care about. This is the one that's basically real money. USDC is what's called a stable coin, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a digital dollar. 1 USDC is worth $1 US. This is the actual payout you can get. But, and you knew there was a but, right? It is only paid out after you've met every single requirement and passed all the verification checks. So let's just recap that because it's so important. USD, that's just the marketing estimate. SLC, that's the internal network points. And USDC, that's the real digital dollar you get paid after you've been verified. Honestly, if you walk away with just one thing today, please let it be the difference between these 3. All right, so we've established that USDC is the goal. That's the prize. So what's the actual confirmed process for getting that prize into your wallet? Let's walk through the exact steps. Here's the path. It's basically 4 hurdles you have to clear. First, you have to contribute enough to meet the minimum.
Second, your voice recordings have to be super high quality, no mumbling. Third, your data has to get the green light from not just Silencio, but also from their client who's buying the data. It's only after you've passed all 3 of those checks that you qualify for the biweekly payout. And look, we know this works because people have confirmed it. This quote really says it all. I've personally received real USDC payouts, which proves the system works. So payouts are real, the system is legit, but then comes the crucial part. But it's not instant or guaranteed. And that just perfectly sums up the whole thing, doesn't it?
Okay, so now that we've laid all the cards on the table, it's time for a little reality check. Let's figure out if Silencio is actually something that's going to work for you. Silencio is probably a good fit for you if you're a patient person. If you're cool with delayed rewards and you see this as more of a long-term project. It's also a great fit if you're genuinely interested in the idea of contributing to AI and big data projects. And yeah, it helps if you know a little about crypto, or at least you're willing to learn, and if you'd rather have the honest truth than a bunch of hype.
But let's be real, Silencio is definitely not for you if you're looking for quick cash. If you need money tomorrow, this ain't it. If you want a guaranteed, steady paycheck, nope, look elsewhere. And if you can't be bothered to go through a verification process, then you're just gonna get frustrated. It really all comes down to making sure your expectations line up with what the app actually is. And that brings us to the bottom line, the single most important thing to remember. The best way to frame this whole thing in your head is just this. Silencio is not magic money. It is a data economy.
And in that data economy, success boils down to 3 simple things: your contribution, the quality of that contribution, and your patience. So the real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is, do you have what it takes?